So, Bridget, you joined Mission coming up on 2 years ago. And when you made the decision to join Mission, one of the things that you saw was as a key advantage was how nimble we can be, how flexible we can be. Can you comment on that more?
Sure. Well, there were more than just those things. There were a number of things that I think set Mission Management and Trust Company apart. So as an attorney, working with a unique population, mostly people with disabilities and their families, I was often frustrated that I could only give my families a list of maybe one or two corporate fiduciary options. And the reason being, more often than not, institutions that provide that kind of service, fiduciary service, running the gamut, weren't willing to take these accounts on because they were special needs, because they didn't have enough money, because they charge a significant minimum fee that made it cost prohibitive. And then most importantly, because of where I sat and what I knew, I was very aware of what little experience most corporate fiduciaries have, or trustees, in dealing with that population, particularly special needs or other types of fiduciary accounts like conservatorships, where the court appoints the institution to manage the estate or the affairs of that individual. So it was an appeal to me to come over to Mission Management and Trust Company because I knew that the people involved with the institution, not only Mission Management and Trust Company, but also the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, had that knowledge and background and desire, and the desire to make themselves available to this population in the community that's underserved, and to do whatever it takes to further develop the services to meet those needs. And so I've been very happy and excited to be a part of developing that within Mission Management and Trust Company, which already had a solid foundation.
Yeah, and it's just a very, very underserved part of the community, right?
Absolutely.
From my perspective, I think what really makes a difference for our clients is that we're available and accessible, and people can pick up the phone and call us. They don't get our voicemail messages. We have somebody answer the phone all the time. We're flexible. We're trying to solve problems and be part of the solution, and we're doing it from a perspective that is nonprofit oriented. And the membership orientation of the credit union allows us to approach things very differently than I think our giant for-profit competitors do. And we're much more about relationships, as you've talked about, really taking care of people. And sometimes that means we get bogged down in some of our client relationships, and in order to make sure there's a handoff that's done well as we go from somebody taking care of him or herself to Mission stepping in and helping to care.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things that I'm most proud of and it's one of the things that differentiates us most from our giant competitors, and that's that we are focused on relationships and the people. This is a people business. This is not a self-service business, right? It's all about people.
Right. And it's not just or primarily about managing the assets, which is what leads most other institutions. And I would say if we enter into this relationship with a client, it's because we are optimistic that it's going to bring value and that's going to be a positive working relationship. In the rare instance that we say no or decline, it's because we don't think we can do the job or do it well given the circumstances, but we will help that person or individual find a better fit. So we want to make sure it works for everybody. And when we entertain requests or things that they need over their lifetime, what I like to be able to tell people is we don't come out hard with a no. We never start with no.
No, we have an orientation toward yes, actually.
We have an orientation towards yes. And we work with the individual and together with them to get familiar with what they think they need and want and why, and the substantiation that we need to support that. And maybe through that process, we get to a no or something else
Sometimes, sure.
or
sometimes
an
it happens,
alternative,
yeah.
but in that it's working together with them. And so it's not a relationship that begins that way or is negative by any means. We are guiding, educating, and getting to hopefully that same conclusion with our clients, whatever the
We're
case
not going to
may
be
be.
arbitrary about
Right,
things.
right.
I think another piece that, we've talked about the importance of relationships in this, but I can't say it enough that we do know all of our clients, and we've prevented frauds from being perpetrated on client funds because their system got hacked and somebody asked us to wire money to South Korea or things along those lines. So I think that that's another piece of it is we really know who our clients are, and we'll be taking care of them.